Crocodile poop as birth control? Yep, ancient Egyptians might just win the award for the most bizarre contraceptive method in history. Imagine living thousands of years ago, strolling along the Nile, and the local healer recommends a blend of crocodile dung and honey to prevent pregnancy. It sounds wild, but this earthy concoction was believed to be a powerful barrier against conception. This wasn't just some random experiment, it was a genuine attempt at family planning. The Egyptians were incredibly resourceful and had a deep understanding of natural remedies. Crocodile dung, when mixed with other ingredients, was thought to create an acidic environment, potentially acting as a spermicide. It highlights how ancient societies were not just passive observers of nature but active participants in experimenting with its resources. What makes this even more intriguing is the cultural context. Crocodiles were revered creatures in ancient Egypt, often associated with the god Sobek, a deity linked to fertility and protection. This duality of reverence and practicality adds an extra layer of complexity to their use in contraception. It's fascinating to think about how the symbolism of the crocodile could have influenced such a unique approach to birth control. Today, we have a myriad of scientifically tested contraceptives, but the ancient Egyptians' use of crocodile dung reminds us of humanity's long-standing quest to control reproduction. It's a testament to human ingenuity and the lengths to which people will go to manage their destinies. This ancient practice may seem peculiar now, but it was a stepping stone in the long history of birth control, paving the way for the diverse methods we have today. Breaking barriers, inspiring generations. In the early 1900s, while society was deeply entrenched in racial and gender biases, an African-American woman named Madam C.J. Walker broke barriers to become the first self-made female millionaire in America. Born Sarah Breedlove in 1867 to formerly enslaved parents, she transformed her life through sheer determination and innovation. Her journey from a laundress earning $1.50 a day to a millionaire entrepreneur is nothing short of extraordinary. Walker built her empire by developing a line of beauty and hair products specifically for black women, addressing a market that had been largely ignored. Her flagship product, Madam Walker's Wonderful Hair Grower, became a sensation, offering solutions to common hair and scalp issues. But more than just selling products, she empowered women with the opportunity to build their own businesses as sales agents, creating an army of beauty culturists who spread her vision nationwide. Her success wasn't just measured in dollars but in the lives she transformed. Walker was a philanthropist and social activist, using her wealth to support the NAACP, black colleges, and charities. She understood the power of wealth as a tool for broader societal change and was committed to uplifting her community, setting a precedent for how business success could translate into social impact. Madam C.J. Walker's legacy extends beyond her financial achievements. She reshaped the narrative of what's possible, showing that with tenacity and vision, the barriers of race and gender could be challenged and overcome. Her story isn't just one of personal triumph but a powerful testament to the impact of entrepreneurship in driving social change, inspiring generations of women and minorities to dare to dream big. In 1830, the U.S. government was printing Bibles in Native American languages while simultaneously forcing these tribes from their lands. Imagine the paradox: on one hand, they aimed to convert and civilize the indigenous peoples through Christianity, and on the other, they were uprooting entire communities through policies like the Indian Removal Act. This bizarre juxtaposition highlights the complexities and contradictions of American policies toward Native Americans during this era. The translations were part of a broader assimilation effort, where missionaries believed that introducing Christianity would bring salvation and supposedly better ways of life to Native Americans. These missionaries worked tirelessly to learn and transcribe native languages, creating texts in Cherokee, Choctaw, and other languages, believing they were doing a divine service. Yet, this spiritual outreach was taking place against the backdrop of brutal displacement. The Trail of Tears, one of the darkest chapters in American history, was unfolding at the same time. Thousands of Native Americans were forcibly removed from their ancestral homelands, suffering immense hardships and loss during their journey westward. The government's role in both printing Bibles and enforcing these relocations underscores the contradictory nature of its policies, often cloaked in benevolent rhetoric while causing immense suffering. This historical paradox prompts us to reflect on the complex legacy of these actions. The Bibles printed in native languages survive as rare artifacts from a time when cultural erasure and forced assimilation were aggressively pursued, yet they also represent a small preservation of language and identity amidst widespread loss. This duality challenges us to grapple with the past in all its complexity, understanding the intertwined narratives of oppression and resilience. Hitler, a children's villain? Imagine Hitler as the villain in a children's book. During World War II, the British government concocted a bizarre plan to undermine the Nazi leader's fearsome image by turning him into a caricature for kids. This wasn't just any propaganda, it was an audacious attempt to ridicule and diminish Hitler's power by making him the subject of mockery in the most unexpected of places, children's literature. In the midst of a global conflict, Psychological tactics were just as crucial as military strategies. The British understood that winning the war of ideas was as important as winning battles. By portraying Hitler in a humorous and absurd light, they aimed to weaken his influence, making him appear less terrifying and more ridiculous to the public. This strategy leaned heavily on the idea that humor could erode fear and authority. The idea was simple yet ingenious: take the looming figure of Adolf Hitler and strip him of his menace by placing him in silly, child-friendly situations. Imagine bedtime stories where Hitler bungles his way through comedic escapades, losing the gravitas that his real-world persona commanded. Such narratives sought to transform the dictator from a figure of dread into an object of laughter, thereby reducing his psychological grip on the populace. Though this particular project never fully materialized, it highlights the lengths to which wartime governments would go to influence public perception. It's a testament to the power of storytelling and the belief that even the mightiest of tyrants could be brought low by a well-timed punchline. King Tutankhamun's parents were siblings, a royal norm that drastically altered his life. Ancient Egyptian pharaohs often married within their families to keep their bloodline pure, but this practice came with a significant downside. The young king's lineage was not just a tale of opulence and power, it was marred by the shadows of genetic defects and health issues. Tutankhamun, who ascended to the throne at just 9 years old, was the product of this familial practice. His father, Akhenaten, and mother, likely Akhenaten's sister, passed down genes that contributed to a host of health problems. Tutankhamun's short life and reign were heavily impacted by his fragile health, including a clubbed foot and a cleft palate, which are often tied to the genetic repercussions of inbreeding. The beauty of ancient Egyptian royalty masks the hidden consequences of their family customs. Despite the power and divine status attributed to these rulers, their human vulnerabilities were starkly evident. Tutankhamun's story is a revealing glimpse into the personal costs of maintaining a royal bloodline, where the desire for purity clashed with the harsh realities of human genetics. As researchers continue to unravel the mysteries of ancient Egypt, the story of King Tut serves as a compelling reminder that even the most powerful are not immune to the consequences of their choices. The discovery of his tomb in 1922 brought to light not just treasures, but also a poignant narrative of a young king whose life was shaped by the very traditions meant to secure his legacy. Visionary woman programmer. Imagine the first computer programmer in history was a woman in the 1800s, way before computers existed. Meet Ada Lovelace, a visionary mind who foresaw the digital age long before it dawned. In an era when women's intellectual contributions were often dismissed, Ada crafted the first algorithm intended for Charles Babbage's early mechanical general-purpose computer, the analytical engine. Her work laid the groundwork for the digital world we navigate today. Lovelace's insights were nothing short of revolutionary. She saw beyond the machine's original purpose, predicting its potential to process not just numbers, but any form of data. While her contemporaries saw the analytical engine as a mere calculator, Ada envisioned a future where it could compose music, create art, and even produce scientific discoveries. This interpretation was groundbreaking, highlighting her profound understanding of the machine's capabilities. Her collaboration with Babbage was more than just technical, it was a meeting of minds that spurred innovation. She translated an Italian article in the analytical engine and added her own extensive notes, which were 3 times longer than the original text. It was in these notes that Ada detailed what is now recognized as the first computer program. Her intuition and foresight were so advanced that some of her ideas were not fully appreciated until the 20th century. Ada's legacy is a testament to the power of imagination and intellect. Although she lived in a time when women's contributions were often overshadowed, her work has inspired generations of women in STEM fields. Today, Ada Lovelace Day is celebrated internationally, acknowledging her pivotal role in the history of computing and reminding us that groundbreaking innovation knows no gender. A chicken lived for 18 months without a head, known as Miracle Mike, defying the very essence of biology and astonishing the world. In 1945, a farmer named Lloyd Olson in Fruita, Colorado, aimed to prepare dinner by beheading a chicken. To his surprise, the chicken didn't just run around briefly, as the phrase suggests, but continued to live. How was this even possible? Miracle Mike's survival was attributed to the unique way his head was removed. The axe missed the jugular vein, leaving one ear and most of the brain stem intact. This allowed Mike to continue his basic bodily functions, like breathing and balance, even without his head. The brainstem controls many of these autonomic processes, and with it largely unharmed, Mike's body kept going, leaving onlookers and scientists baffled. The tale of Miracle Mike quickly spread, turning the headless chicken into a national sensation. He was taken on tour, showcasing his unlikely existence to fascinated crowds, who paid to witness this biological marvel. Mike even became the subject of numerous articles and interviews, bringing in a considerable income for Olson. His fame was such that Life magazine covered his story, cementing Mike's place in the annals of strange history. Miracle Mike's bizarre journey ended in March 1947, when he choked on a kernel of corn. Yet, His legacy lives on, celebrated annually in Fruita with a festival dedicated to the Headless Wonder. Mike's story remains a testament to the incredible resilience of life, the quirks of nature, and a reminder that sometimes, reality is stranger than fiction. Dancing madness unleashed. In 1518, a town in France experienced an outbreak where people danced uncontrollably for days, leading to exhaustion, injury, and even death. Imagine waking up to find your neighbors, friends, and family members caught in a frenzied dance that lasts not just hours but days on end. This wasn't a celebration or a festival, it was a mysterious and terrifying phenomenon that left the town of Strasbourg bewildered. Historians today refer to it as the dancing plague or dance mania, and it all began with a woman named Frau Troffa. She stepped into the street and began to dance fervently, unable to stop despite pleas from those around her. Within a week, her strange compulsion spread like wildfire, and dozens of others joined in this relentless, involuntary dance marathon. The authorities were desperate to find a solution, so they hired musicians and professional dancers, hoping to cure the afflicted by encouraging them to keep dancing, an unusual remedy that only seemed to make the situation worse. Theories about the cause of this bizarre event range from mass hysteria to ergot poisoning, a condition caused by a toxic mold that grows on damp rye bread, which can lead to hallucinations and spasms. Others speculate that it was a form of psychological stress relief, triggered by the hardships of the time, including famine and disease. Despite these theories, no one knows for certain why the dancing plague took hold and spread so dramatically. This peculiar event remains one of history's most fascinating mysteries, a testament to the complexities of human behavior and the strange ways communities can react to stress and fear. The dancing plague of 1518 serves as a reminder of the fragile line between order and chaos, and how easily the mundane can transform into the extraordinary. High heels were originally designed for men. In the 16th century, European aristocrats donned these elevated shoes as a symbol of power and prestige. Forget the notion that high heels are a modern-day feminine staple, they were once a must-have in the wardrobes of male nobility. The higher the heel, the closer to the elite you were perceived to be, as these shoes were a clear indicator of wealth and status. It all started with Persian warriors, who wore high heels to secure their feet in stirrups while riding horses. This practical use soon became a fashionable trend among European men, who sought to emulate the status and authority of these skilled horsemen. High heels were a way to stand taller, both literally and figuratively, in a society where every inch counted. As the heels got higher, so did the stakes in the fashion game. The trend reached its peak when even King Louis XIV of France was known for his elaborate red-heeled shoes, a privilege he reserved for the nobility. His court's obsession with these shoes sparked widespread imitation, firmly embedding high heels into the male fashion lexicon of the time. Fast forward a few centuries, and the roles have reversed. High heels have become predominantly associated with women's fashion, leaving many unaware of their origins in male vanity and power play. This dramatic shift in gender norms around fashion serves as a fascinating reminder of how styles can evolve over time, challenging our perceptions of what is considered traditionally masculine or feminine. Imagine a battlefield hero with wings. During World War I, a homing pigeon named Cher Ami became a savior to nearly 200 soldiers trapped behind enemy lines. Despite being severely injured by enemy fire, Cher Ami completed a crucial mission that changed the course of a dire situation. This feathered hero's tale is a testament to the unexpected bravery found in the animal kingdom. In October 1918, the soldiers of the Lost Battalion were surrounded, low on supplies, and facing imminent threat. Their only hope lay in the sky, with messages tied to the legs of pigeons. Cher Ami was their last chance to communicate their desperate plight to their allies. As the bird took flight, enemy forces opened fire, desperate to keep the message from reaching its destination. Cher Ami flew over 25 miles in just 25 minutes, even after being shot through the breast, blinded in one eye, and having a leg hanging only by a tendon. Despite these grave injuries, the pigeon successfully delivered the message that saved the battalion. The note contained their coordinates, allowing for reinforcements to arrive in time and prevent further casualties. Cher Ami's incredible journey earned the bird the Croix de Guerre, a prestigious French military honor. Preserved and displayed at the Smithsonian Institution, Cher Ami's story continues to inspire, reminding us that courage comes in many forms, and sometimes, the smallest creatures make the biggest difference.